Morning, everyone. Welcome to today's session. That is when the best remedy is selected, which is failed to act. This is the topic we are going to dealing with. And if you are not subscribed the channel, please subscribe and press the bell icon for the regular updates. So today we are going to deal with few remedies which has been mentioned by our stalwarts when we given some or when we have received the totality of the selected remedy, but it will not give a appropriate result. So this topic is mainly important for two purpose. That is, mainly one is for the treating the case, another one is for our exam point of view also. So shall we go into the topic and shall I start the topic now? Okay. This is the first remedy. Just try to find the remedy which the remedy may be coming up with these symptoms. Okay. Or when the indicated remedy fail, when we can think of other remedy when the patient presented with similar symptom. So here the first one is when opium failed with the diarrhea and stupor, and again there is a purpural convulsion when phosphorus is apparently indicated but it is failed. So what may be the remedy? Which remedy indicate these symptoms? The remedy is Synga metallicum. So Synga metallicum is the remedy which we can think of when opium is failed, when the patient is suffering from diarrhea or with stupor, and there is a purpural convulsion when phosphorus is indicated, still there is no improvement. So Synga metallicum is the answer. The next one. So when the best selected remedy fails to relieve or permanently improve in syphilitic affection. Any idea? It is meaning that any miasm or something like that. Mainly they have mentioned in syphilitic affection. So whatever the disease condition or the clinical condition which is under the syphilitic miasm, we can think this remedy also. And then when tuberculinum fails, as everyone know, we are used to give tuberculinum as an intercurrent remedy for many complaints. So in such case, when the tuberculinum is indicated, but it get fail, and we can think of this remedy. Can anyone say what is the remedy, or can anyone just guess what may be the remedy? Yes, the remedy is syphilinum. So once the tuberculinum fails, and we can give syphilinum in that case also. And then when the best selected remedy fails to relieve or permanently improve in syphilitic affection, we can think of syphilinum. And the next is, okay, in acute diseases, when well selected remedy fail to relieve or permanently improve. So many cases in our day-to-day clinical practice, we are facing that recurrency of symptoms, recurrency of fever, or recurrency of some other acute manifestation. So we have given the constitution remedies or the indicated remedy, but we never found that the case has been improved. Then we can think of this remedy. Then the another symptoms, that is children have worms, but the best selected remedy is fail. So again, the children who are suffering from worm trouble, and we have given so many indicated remedies like Persina, Santonian, but still the patient or the child will not get any relief. We can think of this remedy. And to facilitate the absorption of serous or inflammatory exudates in brain, pleura, lungs, joints, and when so and so or the best selected remedy fails. So here come two remedies that anyone can guess what may be the remedy they have mentioned here. Yes, there is a serous membrane action. So the remedy, as everyone know, that is a bryonia, and another remedy is calimure. So when the bryonia or calimure is failed to act or fail to facilitate the absorption of serous or inflammatory exudates, mainly in pleura, lungs, or brain, or joints, we can think of this particular remedy. So, and another one symptom is, this is the remedy usually is a chronic of aconite. So I think now you can understand what may be the remedy. It will often complete an action that aconite begins and well cure cases in which aconite is apparently indicated but fails to relieve. So when this is the very key and easy key word, that is that this is the remedy for the chronic of aconite. So can anyone guess what may be the remedy? Okay, we can see after that. We have some more symptoms in this remedy also. Yes, this remedy is frequently serves to arouse the reactive powers when carefully selected remedy fail to act, especially in acute and in chronic disease. So this remedy is also help in the same stage as when dash and dash. So here is also something will come. No, some remedies will come in this stage that will help. Yes, that will help about a reaction, particularly when the child is coughless and has other symptom. So other particular symptom of this one. So here, scopherless is, that is prone for a glandular affection. So when this particular remedy will indicated when when another two remedies get fail to bring about the reaction. So what may be that two remedy? That is epis. Okay. So this is the remedy help in the same stage as epis when epis fails to bring about a reaction, particularly when the child is coughless and has other particular and these symptoms. So we, as everywhere, you may be aware or we are may not be aware that the epis is also the remedy can be think of scopherless affection. So when the epis get failed, we can think of this particular remedy. And when synovial fever fails to yield to aconite, and the best selected remedy is, so when the aconite is also is failed in a particular fever condition, we can think of this remedy. So these remedies having uh, tremendous action when the well selected remedy or the well indicated remedy get failed. So the remedy is nothing but the king of antisoric, that is sulfur. So sulfur is the remedy which have frequently these much of actions when the indicated remedy fails. So we can, when if you are a practitioner or you are going to be a practitioner, so definitely think of sulfur if you fail continuously in a particular case and if the case is corresponding to the psoric miasm. So next is the remedy is UPAS. This is the remedy is mainly indicated when bryonia fails in typhoid. So as you know, that is in typhoid, we will be thinking of Rustox and then typhoidinum, so and so remedies. So when and bryonia also, if the symptom similarity is corresponding to bryonia, you can think of bryonia. So in such cases, you may feel like the symptom may be bry, but you are not getting a relief from the particular fever or typhoid. You can think of UPAS remedy. Okay, then this is the remedy, that is hysteria and oversensitiveness, which will having a nervous affection when apparently well chosen remedy fail. So this is the when the person is come to you with the hysteria or oversensitiveness or the nervous affection, and you have selected so and so remedies like ignitia, so many phosphorus or plumbum metallicum, whatever it may be. So you have been selected such and such remedy. So these remedies has been failed to give a relief to the patient. So you can think of this particular remedy in that place. Okay. And this is the remedy is indicated in nervous derangements when the remedy have failed although apparently well indicated. So when there is a nervous derangement is there and we have selected so many remedy and we didn't get any cure or he didn't get any palliation, we can think of this particular remedy. And there will be a nervous affection, and then again nervous affection when apparently well chosen remedy is failed. And another thing is particular two remedies is all again it is failed, we can think of this particular remedy in the nervous affection. So this is the remedy which highly deal with the nervous affection when the indicated remedy is failed. Can anyone guess what may be the remedy that having so much action on nervous system? Yes, it is a remedy named as valeriana. So you can think of valeriana where the patient with hysteria or oversensitiveness, nervous affection, and then nervous derangement, then nervous affection. When the well indicated remedies of nervous affection fail, we can think of valeriana. And the next one, vomiting, violent with cold sweat. Soon he begins to move during pregnancy when lactic acid is failed. So there will be a violent vomiting with a cold sweat as soon as he begins to move during pregnancy. So that the remedy is soranum, but when this indication will or the indicated remedy is failed, we can think of one another particular remedy that is tobacco. So tobacco, if the patient is experiencing vomiting that is violent in nature and with cold sweat when he begins to move, mainly during pregnancy when lactic acids fail. So similar symptom can be noted in soranum is also. So we can think of tobacco in this condition. Next. It's an indicated in conjunctivitis from irritation of foreign bodies when aconite fail. So when there is an immediate affection, we would think of aconite. So in such cases, when the aconitis fail during the conjunctivitis, we can think of this particular remedy. And some other symptoms, some other cases when causticums also fails in hoarseness, which is aggravation in the morning or evening, and this is the remedy is sufficient to bring the cure. And again, hoarseness is worse in morning like causticum and epitorium. If either of these remedy fails to cure the hoarseness and complete the this particular remedy will help you to the complete the cure. And it's the remedy which mainly indicated in bronchopneumonia when that particular remedy is selected and indicated, but it will not giving any sort of relief. So we can think of this particular remedy. So in bronchopneumonia, usually andium tart is indicated. Okay, bronchopneumonia, andium tartaricum is indicated, and when the anti-tartus will not produce any effect or it failed to produce the particular improvement, we can think of this particular remedy. So what may be the remedy? Let's see. And again, and this is not over it, and this particular remedy having some other action also. The sensation as if he could not finish. This often cure the state of after mercury fails, and this is the remedy mainly in sore constitution when other remedy fails in hemorrhages also. So the particular remedy is sulfur. In sulfur, you have you have many symptoms, mainly when the indicated remedy fails. So the symptoms, first symptom that is acute disease when well selected remedy is failed and completely or relieve the symptom permanently. Then we can think of sulfur. Then children with worm trouble, we can think of sulfur when the well selected remedy fail. And then if there is an low serous or inflammatory exudate, or the absorption of low serous or inflammatory exudates in brain, pleura, lungs, and joints. When the bryonia and calimure or the fail, we can think of sulfur. And again, sulfur is the another remedy which will bring the cure when the aconite is indicated but it failed. And sulfur is frequently serves us to a reactive power, mainly in case of disease of acute and chronic disease. And then sulfur is again, it's particularly in children, it arouses the reactive power, mainly in scopherless children when the epis is indicated but it fails to act. And another, it's a fever, when the fever is there and the aconite is indicated but the aconite will not produce any improvement, we can think of sulfur. And other thing is from the conjunctivitis, from irritation of foreign bodies, when aconite fail, we can think of sulfur. And causticum, if the causticum is fail in case of hoarseness, mainly aggravation in morning or evening, we can think of sulfur. And in case of bronchopneumonia, where the andium tartaricum is well apparently indicated but it fails, we can think of sulfur. Then there would sensation as if we could not finish, we can think of sulfur. Then hoarseness in the morning, like causticum already I told, then causticum and epitorium, it will not produce any improvement, we can think of sulfur, which is said by Nash. And is overall the soric constitution remedy which cover the hemorrhages which fail to act by other drugs or other well indicated remedy, we can think of sulfur. Even during the hemorrhages condition, we can think of sulfur. It's mainly said by Nash. So the next remedy is sometimes to be substituted for colocynth in the effect of violent emotion in women and children, and when the violent abdominal cramps fail to yield to the later remedy. So this is another remedy. We can think of violent emotion in women and children, which is then while considering the ailment factor. When the violent abdominal cramps, when the patient is suffering with severe abdominal cramps and they are getting bad effect from violent emotion, mainly in women's or children, we can think of this particular remedy. The remedy is Staphysagria. The next, Dr. Birch has also made use of these particular remedy in scopherless disease of bone, particularly after sulfur, calcarea, lyco, and other remedy have been failed. So these particular remedy is mainly used in scopherless disease of bones. Okay. Then particularly after sulfur, calcarea, lyco, and other remedies fail. And again in scopherless, when the best remedies fail to relieve. And in scopherless, when the best remedy fail, also in TB in the beginning. So here we can see there is a lot of scopherless involvement is there. So when the scopherless best remedies fail to relieve the complaints, or in the scopherless when the best remedy fail in the TB also, or in the beginning of it, we can think of this particular remedy. What is that? It's Theridion. So Theridion has an effect, that use of scopherless disease of bones, particularly when we think of sulfur, calcarea, lyco, we can think of Theridion. And then in scopherless, when the best remedies fail to relieve. And again, when the scopherless remedy fails to relieve the TB in the beginning stage. So we can think of Theridion. Again, other remedy, constipation in obstinate cases after particular remedy fails, and in ovarian affection of the drug relieved after laxasis has been failed. and suppression of the ovary, the pus have been evacuated under the action of later. So this is the remedy we can think in case of obstinate constipation after the particular remedy fails. And in some ovarian affection, this drug is relieved that after lacusis is failed and suppression of the ovary, the pus has been evacuated under the action. So what may be the remedy? Yes, this is the remedy is platina. So in platina, there will be patient will be suffering with the severe obstinate constipation. And we have tried lot of remedies like noxomica, tacliflozin, so and so remedies, but we didn't get any improvement. We can think of platina. And it's the remedy mainly affected in the ovarian affection when the lacus is indicated but it failed. We can think of platina. You know, the patient is very much covering the totality of lacuses and you have prescribed, but there is no improvement, then definitely you can think of platina also. So it occupies a position between bryonia and rustox. Cures when these fail, though apparently well indicated. So actually this is in my clinical experience, whether I have seen this one and it has been improved with this particular remedy. And the patient is came to me with the knee joint pain, and first it may goes to the totality of rustox. I have prescribed rustox, but there is a only slight improvement, but nothing more than that. And after that again they came and they said as a complaints persisting as the same and there is no improvement. Then I have changed to bryonia as a complementary remedy. And after bryonia also, she got somewhat improvement, but not up to the mark. Then again, I have given this particular remedy and it's really worked and the patient got relief from the particular knee pain. That is, the remedy is nothing but phytoleca. So it is a clinically I have experienced with these symptoms and these remedies. It's really worked. And the next drug is constipation when platina fails. So we have seen the platina is the remedy which having obstinate constipation, right? So when such constipation even is failed after platina, we will having some other remedy, that is plumbum metallicum. So when the plumbum metallicum is given, it's meaning that the patient should have suffered from severe obstinate constipation. We can think of platina, while all the indicated remedy like noxomica, aesculus or something like platina, which all the remedies you have tried and patient is not at all relieved with the symptom, definitely you would have tried with plumbum metallicum. However, upon it fails and cough get worse the next night is usually the remedy, especially if there are dry, hard cough, swing respiration, little or no expectoration starting up from sleep or choking. So this is the symptom. When the symptom is relieved or it will not, it's not relieved and patient will have complaining the repeated symptom of symptom like this, we can think of this particular remedy, that is spongia. So we can think of spongia when there is a cough which is get aggravated at night. Usually the remedies are meant for dry, hard cough and swaying respiration, little or no expectoration, and starting from sleeping, and which will create the choking. So in such cases, we can think of spongia. And this is also has been clinically experienced by me in case of on female. So again, it has been proved and it has been given a good result for the patient. And this is the remedy. Sometimes cures in warm affection when Sina seems indicated but fail. As a homeopathy, without thinking, if the complaint, if the children is come to you with the worm complaint, definitely you would have think of Sina. And and after giving Sina also, the patient will not give any response or the child will not give any response. Definitely we can try with this remedy, that is Santonin. So Santonin is the remedy that sometimes Sina, patient may be presented with symptom like Sina, but it fails. We can think of Santonin. Okay. Then other remedy, the 70 years old man complains of serious attack of diarrhea after sulfur indicates and fail. So when patient is presented with diarrhea, definitely we have think of sulfur. So in the sulfur, if and we have prescribed sulfur and there is no improvement and the patient seems old age, what may be the remedy? And can anyone guess? Some might have guessed like a sabaritamur or conium maculatum. But the remedy is Rumax. So Rumax is the remedy which is the diarrhea for old age man nearly 17 years of age, and when sulfur is well indicated but it may fail to give a result, we can think of Rumax. And this particular remedy is useful in subacute or chronic exudation of the pleura and in catarrhal pleura pneumonia where dry has failed. We have already seen where the serious exudation, mainly in joints, pleura, then brain, when the bryonia and cali mure is indicated, but it failed, we can think of sulfur. But here, some other remedies are also helpful when there is a pleural pneumonia where completely dry has been failed. We can think of this particular remedy. What is the remedy? So, Seneca. So, the next is sometime indicated after sulfur and lacuses have failed in climateric ailment, especially if the circumscribed redness of the cheek appears failed. So when we think of climateric ailment, we would have think of sulfur, lacuses, or some other remedies. When so and so remedy get failed, and if the patient is especially having the symptom that is circumscribed redness of the cheek, so we can think of this particular remedy for the cure. And this is the chronic of bell and may be used after belladonna when fails in scarlet rena. So now you might be thinking of calcarea carb. This is because this is the remedy chronic the calcarea carb is the chronic of belladonna, but we'll see the calcarea carb is the answer or not. And there is the climateric ailments, flushes of heat and leucorrhea, burning in palms and soles, compelled to throw off bed cloths, and there is a painful enlargement of breast when lacuses and sulfur fail to relieve. The remedy is sanguinaria. Okay, so the sanguinaria is the remedy. It can be used for the climateric ailment when the sulfur and lacuses has been indicated and it's failed. So, and mainly if the patient is having circumscribed redness of the cheek, and sanguinaria is the chronic of belladonna also. It may be used after belladonna. So climateric ailments, that is flushes of heat and leucorrhea, burning in palms and soles, compel them to throw off the bedcloth, and painful and enlargement of breast. And when the lacuses and sulfur is indicated but they fail to reveal, we relieve the symptom, we can think of sanguinaria. It has cured most stubborn case of eczema where sulfur and graphite seems indicated and failed. And the remedy is, there is a remedy which cured the eczema and sulfur. Eczema where the sulfur and graphite is seems indicated and failed. The remedy is Kali silicicum. So this is also I have experience from my clinical experience. That is, the patient is presented with stubborn, that is some eczema which is presented like dryness, and it may be projected as an graphite skin, but the patient is failed to get relief. And then I have tried the remedies like sulfur and graphite is both the remedy I have tried, but there is no improvement. Then they after prescribing Kali silicum, patient is improved gradually. And again, other remedy in old people, the chest is very much weakened and they get ketara, which is not very severe but appears suddenly in the night with difficulty of breathing and blueness of face. And this is the remedy that comes in after the failure of antitat. So there is a remedy which is mainly adapted to old people where the chest is weakened and they are getting ketara, which is very severe but appears suddenly in night with the breathing difficulty and blueness of face. It's more related to cardiac ogen, right? And symptoms may be presenting as a cardiac ogen. And this is the remedy that comes after the failure of antitat. So what may be the remedy? It's Bareta car. So we can think of, there is an clue, and old people remedy. When thinking of old people remedy, we can think of Bareta carb and conium, right? So when the old people, the chest is very much weakened and they get ketara, which is not very severe but appears suddenly in the night with the difficulty of breathing and blueness of face, we can think of Bareta carb. When the antium tartus also failed, we can think of Bareta carb. And it has cured the constipation after the failure of opium, Naxomica, bryonia, and alumina. So, can anyone guess what may be the remedy? Possible remedy. And when during the dentition, chamomilla fails, belladonna is the remedy because it's suited to more advanced cases. So, during the dentition, complaints during dentition, we have think of chamomilla. But this particular remedy will suited in more advanced cases, and this is the remedy served me in the first or the inflammatory spasmodic stage of croup when aconitis failed. The remedy is belladonna. It has been given at there. No, sorry, I forgot to mention. I forgot to hide that thing. So belladonna is the remedy. We can think of constipation after the failure of opium, Naxomica, bryonia, and alumina. And we have seen lot of constipation remedies like what if the obstinate constipation, if patient will not cure, then you can think of platina, even giving this, and we can think of sulfur, and even giving the platina, sulfur, and so remedy, then there is no improvement, then we can think of plumbum met also. And the another remedy is belladonna. So constipation, if the patient is presented with constipation, please can try with these remedies when the symptom corresponding to it. So mainly during the dentition period, when the chamomilla fails, the belladonna can cure the cases. Or this is the remedy serves as the in first or the inflammatory spasmodic stage of croup when aconitis failed. And useful when rustoxis failed in urticaria. So this is the remedy. So everyone knows if the patient is coming with you with the phase of urticaria, we will give rustox. Usually it's a common indicated remedy. So when such rustox seems fail, we can cure, we can give or we can prescribe this particular remedy. What is the remedy? It's Bovista. So when the patient is presented with urticaria, and when it seems to be the symptoms like rustox and it failed, then we can think of Bovista. And hot goiter cured after iodine is failed. And bromium has been useful in croup after the failure of iodine, phosphorus, spongia, especially in relapse after iodine. So the remedy is it's already there, bromium. So when you think of hot goiter, when iodine is indicated but it failed, we can think of bromium. And bromium is the remedy where you can useful to treat the croup after the failure of iodine, phosphorus, spongia, especially in relapses after iodine. So in such condition, you can think of bromium. Mainly after iodine, we can think of bromium. So this is the remedy, often curative after Eugenia jumbos in acne. So Eugenia jumbos is a rare remedy. So after prescribing this Eugenia jumbos for acne, patient is not getting recovered, we can think of calibromatum. Answer is calibrom. Next one is in wounds where formerly aconite and arnica were given alternatively to dash cures. So if this is the remedy where we can think of aconite and arnica were given alternatively to get a cure. What is the remedy? It's hypericum. So in hypericum can be given where formerly aconite and arnica were given alternately to cure. And it is another one. It has a remedy. It, it has cured pleurisy after dry, which seems indicated had failed. Okay. First one is pleurisy, which is indicated bryonia, and after giving bryonia, patient is not feel okay or not feel satisfied, or patient will not get cured. This particular remedy can be think of. And after aconite and bryonia in pleurisy, when a pressing sensation remains in affected site and impending respiration, and the inflammation of the parotid changing to testis or mammary is generally cured by carbovage or pulsatilla, but this particular remedy has cured when these remedies have failed. Answer is abrotanum, and it has been mentioned already. So abrotanum, we can think when there is a pleurisy, when the bryonia is indicated, but it seems failed, or after aconite or bryonia and pleurisy, the patient is presented with a pressing sensation, and with the affected side is there is an impending respiration, and there is an inflammation of parotid which has been changing to testis or mammary. We can think of, generally we would have think of, or it would be treated with carbovage or pulsatilla, but abrotanum cured the remedies. So abrotanum cured the condition when these remedies has been failed, mainly in parotid involvement. These remedies mainly useful after Naxomica and sulfur have improved but failed to cure the hemorrhoids. So what may be the remedy? It is also one of the remedies used for hemorrhoids, that is Aeschylus. So patient with severe hemorrhoids, after even prescribing Naxomic and sulfur, patient is not improved, we can think of Aeschylus. And this is the remedy has been wonderfully treated for the hemorrhoid from my clinical experience. And another one, it's useful in pterygium after the failure of Naxomica and Spigelia. And this is the remedy cured Sicorus of Austrians after conium and cicuta, sepia, and lycopis failed. The remedy is argentamate. So the argentamate is the remedy where we can see the failure of Nux and Spigelia pterygium, and then cured series of obstinacy after conium cicuta sepia and lycops are failed. And there is another next one is enuresis nocturna of children where nitricum is failed and it's useful. This is the remedy useful in gout after colchicum is failed and similar to copper and nitricum, then ferrum thuja, and then especially in enuresis after nitricum has failed. Useful after colchicum, fails in gout after Popavia in gonorrhea. What may be the remedy? It's benzoic acid. So benzoic acid is the remedy. Can we think of nocturnal enuresis when children, for the children when nitricum is failed, then it can be think of gout after colchicum is failed, and then similar to that it is gout after Popavia in gonorrhea. And again, this is the remedy when ignitia fail to remove the symptom entirely and frequently. And this particular remedy comes to complete the cure. What may be the remedy? If there is an ignitia, there must be some female remedy should be there. And you are very well know about that remedy. That is natrum muriaticum. So natrum muriaticum is the remedy when ignitia fail to remove the symptoms entirely or frequently. This natrum muriaticum comes in to complete the cure. And this particular remedy is indicated in syphilitic ulcer after the abuse of mercury, and also in those of scrofulous character after calcarea has failed. Once if the patient or the children is coming with the scrofulous affection, you would have think of calcarea. So in such condition, this calcarea has been failed, we can think of this particular remedy, that is the nitric acid. So nitric acid is having the tremendous action on scrofulous character even after calcarea has been failed, or it is also another remedy for syphilitic ulcer, by which is having a bad effect of mercury. If vertigo and headache may be very persistent or prostration be prolonged after natrum, this remedy will relieve. What may be the remedy? Vertigo remedy, anyone? Tobacco. Then, okay, the remedy is Naxomica. So Naxomica can be think of in cases like vertigo and headache, where be very persistent or prostration be prolonged after natrum, Naxomica will be relieved. So if the patient, natrum, your patient will having the headache or the vertigo, and it's patient is not responding to natrum, then we can think of Naxomica to relieve such and such symptom or cure the patient. Then, with the lack of reaction after well-selected remedy fails to permanently improve, and cholera asiatica from emotional cause, fright at seizure or death of relatives, or the after failure of paratrum or arsenicum, this particular remedy is helpful. What was the remedy? It's opium. So opium with the lack of reaction after well-selected remedy fails to permanently improve. And in case of cholera asiatica, we can think of opium, and it's mainly from emotional cause, that is fright at seizure or death of relatives after the failure of varatrum. So in cases cholera asiatica, we can think of arsenicum, cuprum, then varatrum. When so and so remedies get failed, and there is then some ailment factor, which is that mainly emotional factor, which is modified as a fright or a seizure or the death of the relatives, we can think of opium in that area. And this is the remedy often cures lasciviousness when ios fail. So this is the remedy. This is another remedy which helped me in treating an old age case. That the patient complains of lasciviousness, and initially I have treated the case with HIOS, but later patient is not improving. Initial stage of HIOS, she is okay, and after that she is not getting improved. Then again I changed to this particular remedy, and the patient is improved, and she started some sort of improvement with this remedy, that is phosphorus. And the next one is erysipelas, red, itching, phlegmomonagus, swelling with vesicular eruption, extending like a band around right ankle, large open ulcer on angle, and pain after or not during motion. And this particular remedy is cured after failure of Ruxrad. What is the remedy? It is Ruxrad. This is the remedy. It's cured after the failure of Rustox, not Ruxrad. It is Rustox. Okay. So when patient is presenting with erysipelas, red itching, phlegmatic swelling with the vesicular eruption. When there is an vesicular eruption, we would have think of Rustox. When in such cases where there is a symptoms is more similar to Rustox, and when this Rustox is cured, fail to cure the condition, we can think of Rustrad. And this particular remedy follows bryonia and ranunculus bulbosus well in pleurisy and has cured after aconite and bryonia. What may be the remedy? It is Sabadilla. So Sabadilla is the remedy which follows bryonia and ranunculus bulbosus and mainly in pleurisy, and it has been cured after aconite or bryonia. In metrorrhagia from retained placenta with characteristic delirium, this particular remedy is helpful, and that this remedy often promote when stramonium has failed. That the remedy is Sequel. So Sequel is the remedy can think of metrorrhagia from retained placenta with there is a delirium. Okay, and then this also promotes when stramonium has failed. In the delirium cases, when the stramonium is indicated, but stramonium will not give any relief or it failed, we can think of Sequel core. So the next one is, itch is checked by mercurial or sulfur, often required this remedy. Let me see what the remedy. It's selenium. So selenium is an itch that is checked by mercurial or sulfur, but often required this remedy. So when the patient is presented with itch, which is mainly indicated like sulfur or mercurius, can think of selenium to complete the cure. Then this particular remedy is complementary when bryonia, when complementary UPAS, when bryonia fails, and this is also often indicated in injuries of joint where arnica could be a failure. What was the remedy? It's bryonia. It's already given. Okay. So bryonia is the remedy you can think of when the injuries of joint where arnica will not give the proper result, or it seems indicated but failed. And another remedy that has cured bad cases of general dropsy after Epis Apocyonum digitalis has been failed. Which is the remedy? It's Blata orientalis. So we know Blata is a well-known remedy for breathing difficulty or bronchial asthma. So here an information, rather than going for a conventional treatment, the Blata would help those cases very well by managing homeopathically. And my clinical experience is the patient who having severe breathing difficulty, and patient usually go for conventional treatment. But in certain cases where the SpO2 and other vitals are normal, but patient is going for severe breathing difficulty, we can palliate the condition by giving plata Q instead of going or avoid conventional treatment. We can give plata mother tinctures. It's 15 drops 4 hours in a water. So this is the remedy when Pulsatilla failed in schoolgirls, and in sprains, this remedy follow when Rustox has relieved but failed to cure. This is the remedy. Another remedy, this is a polycrust remedy. It's a well-known polycrust remedy to all. We can, that the remedy is nothing but Calcarea carb. So Calcarea carb is the remedy used for schoolgirls, and when there is a sprain and the Rustox is indicated but it has failed to relieve, we can think of Calcarea carb. When lungs seems fail, patient becomes sleepy, cough declines or sobs, it supplements this particular remedy. And there is a bad effect of vaccination when Tuja fails and Silesia is not indicated. That remedy is Antimonium tartaric. So bad effect of vaccination, we can think of Antimonium tartaricum, where the Tuja is failed and Silesia is not indicated. And these remedies also actually used by it's actually clinically experienced by me after taking the COVID vaccination. So when the lung patient has some sort of complaints which is aggravated after vaccination, and I have given Tuja, but it does not respond to the particular medicine, and I have simply given antitat, and it's given a good response to the patient. Then when the lung seems to be failed, patient becomes sleepy and cough declines or stop, and it supplements the Ipecac. When Rs are the best selected remedy, fails to relieve the burning pain in carbuncle or malignant ulceration. So this is the remedy is nothing but anthracinum. It's already there. Giving an anthracinum after the arsenica failed to reveal the burning and ulceration. And when there is a group of or deep abscess, we can think of anthracinum. And arsenicum sometimes fail in carbuncles. Then we have to restore to 30th potency of anthracinum. It has precisely the same symptoms as Rs, but more intense degree. So anthracinum can be think when there is the burning and when arsal is indicated but it failed in malignant ulcers. These are all very similar remedies like Pulsatilla, and frequently verified them in case of catarrh of mucous membrane, whether acute or chronic, but especially in chronic after the failure of Pulsatilla. As everyone know, that is Cali sulf. So Cali sulf is the analogy of, Pulsatilla is the, chemical analogy. Pulsatilla's chemical analogy is Cali sulf, and this is when the Pulsatilla is failed or it's failed to produce certain cure, we can think of Cali sulf mainly in catarrh of mucous membrane, whether that may be acute or chronic. And another thing, ichthyosis with brand-like discumation of skin after sulfur and sorinum had failed. The remedy is lacanin. So lacaninum can be think of ichthyosis with brand-like discumation of skin after sulfur and sorinum has failed. And the other remedy in dysentery after aconite when fails to remove the cutting pain with great thirst and icy coolness of feet, followed well by Noxomica. This particular remedy having the great thirst and icy coolness of feet And this is the remedy followed the Naxomica well, and mainly in dysentery after aconite fails. The remedy is Kali nitricum. So Kali nitricum is the remedy mainly used in case of dysentery where the aconitis fail and there is a cutting pain and great thirst and icy coldness of feet followed by Naxomica. We can think of Kali nitricum. And this is the remedy after arnica when later remedy failed to relieve the soreness. So, you know, the soreness remedy is arnica. There is a sore pain from blunt mechanical injury. So, in such cases, we can think of this particular remedy when arnica is failed. That is Ledampal. This is the remedy followed mephitis in asthma of the conceptus when it fails. After the mephitis of asthma, this remedy will help to improve the case when it failed. The remedy is Drosera. And this remedy has cured migraine with salutation after the failure of iris. And this is the remedy which used to cure the headache or migraine when the iris is indicated but it failed. The remedy is cyclamine. And this is the remedy which is cured herpes zoster after Astrox has been failed. And thinking of herpes zoster, would have two remedy we'll think of, that is Rastrox and Ranunculus bulbosus. And when these remedies get failed, when the Rastrox get failed in herpes zoster, we can think of this particular remedy, that is dolichosis. And the dolichosis, the remedy is mainly indicated itching, eruption without itching. Indicated itching without eruption, but in herpes zoster there will be more pain. When we thinking of Rastrox and we have given and there is no improvement, we can think of dolichosis. And there is an acute otitis media when well fails and it prevents the suppression. The remedy is Ferramphos. The Ferramphos is the remedy which mainly indicated for acute otitis media and it covers the totality of belladonna, but it prevents suppression. And think of Ferramphos. And there is a soreness sometimes found in rheumatism and mainly seen in arnica. So answer is hemamelis. So hemamelis is sometimes found in rheumatism and hemamelis has cured when arnica is failed. We have seen that is when the soreness in the previous slide, there is a medicine for soreness when arnica failed in rheumatism. We can, or the soreness generally fail, we can think of ledum also. And in some cases where there is a particularly there in a rheumatism and the soreness is not seen, we can think of arnica. Sorry, we can think of not. When the arnica is failed, we can think of hemamelis. Especially indicated with Silesia has been abused, and it also indicated when Silesia apparently does some good, but it fails to complete the case. The remedy is fluoric acid. So fluoric acid and Silesia having some relationship, and mainly when Silesia is apparently indicated and it cure, but it will not completely relieve the patient, then we can think of fluoric acid. And then this is especially indicated when Silesia has been abused. And this particular remedy is used successful for hydropericardium in heart disease after the failure of AS and after nitricum had failed in flatulent indigestion. The remedy is lycopodium. So lycopodium is the remedy, can be can be used for treating hydropericardium in heart disease after the failure of arsenicum album and after argentum nitricum had failed in flatulent indigestion. We can think of lycopodium. And this particular remedy is useful in case where the purgatives have been abused and it not fails to cure it. The remedy is cinchona. So cinchona is the remedy mainly useful in case where purgatives have been abused it and naxomica is failed to cure the case. And when the umbilical hernia has failed even after prescribing naxomica, this particular remedy comes to and play, that is cocculus. Okay, so cocculus is the remedy, can think after giving naxomica for umbilical hernia and it failed or it seems indicated but it not given proper result, we can prescribe cocculus also. This particular remedy is useful in dropsy after the failure of epis and carbo-Rs and carbo-which followed well in ascites after lycopodium. The remedy is colchicum. So colchicum is mainly useful in dropsy, mainly after the failure of epis and carbo-which and the patient will having ascites even after giving lycopodium. And this particular remedies cured colic after colocin and naxomica failed. And in heart disease combined with hemorrhoids, these remedy act when cactus digitalis and other remedies fail. This particular remedies come to and play. What is the remedy? It's a collinsonia. So collinsonia is the remedy used to cure colic after naxomica and colocin has been failed. And in heart disease complicated with hemorrhoids, these particular remedy will help when cactus digitalis and other remedy get failed. When the discharge of cholera assumes the dysentery character and phosphorus is failed. And the remedy is mercur. So mercur is the remedy when the discharge of cholera assumes the dysentery character. And after giving phosphorus also, patient is not getting any relief, we can think of mercur. If arnica failed, hemorrhages after a fall or other injuries, I would think of this remedy. So I would think of this remedies has been mentioned by some of our star wards. I will say the name of the star wards. And the remedy is millifolium. So millifolium is the remedy. We can think of hemorrhages after a fall or other injuries if arnica is failed. This is said by Nash. So that's all about today's thing. I have covered nearly 55 or 60 drugs and their best selected remedies in seems indicated and failed. And it will be continued in part 2. Thank you.